Pavilion. We choose it for symbolizing the Indonesia, what Indonesia have. And for this, I would like to welcome the moderator of the session, Mr. Wahyudi Wardoyo, Senior Advisor to the Minister of the Environment and Forestry. To Mr. Wahyudi, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Atika. Very good morning, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, this first session I received a task from Pak Adi to be a moderator for topic on bamboo. As Atika mentioned, bamboo also used as the symbol of our pavilion here. I think it's not just Indonesia, several countries also use bamboo as the special species, not just dealing with climate change, but also to many industries and community-based development. As we know, as the special species, bamboo, although today we are going to talk more on mitigations, but we believe that bamboo also has a very important role for adaptation of climate change. So today we are happy that fortunate time to have three speakers. First, Mr. Arif Amir Rafiq. He is chairman of the or executive director of Yayasan Bamboo. It's Bamboo Foundations. And then we also have Mrs. Monica Tanu Handaru. She is executive director of Partnership Indonesia. And we also have Bu Laksmi Dewanti. She is a senior advisor to the Minister of Environment and Forestry. Again, the topic today will be roadmap of the community-based bamboo industry in Indonesia. The second, how to create national strategy for community-based bamboo and agro industry in Indonesia. And the third topic, how to create people-public partnerships to activate the thousands bamboo village vision. Without further ado, we will start with watching a certain special video regarding with bamboo, around 7 minutes. Please enjoy the video.
Currently, the world emits up to 40 billion tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere every year. Our vision is to take 1,000 bamboo villages here in Indonesia and expand that to 9 other countries that collectively will absorb and remove out of the atmosphere 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide every single year. Tropical rainforests are important to us as humans because they are foundation to Earth's life support systems. And in those life support systems, you have more than half of the plants and animals on the planet. And we need to understand that without these healthy soils, without these healthy water systems, without the healthy air, we cannot survive and thrive on this planet. So the Environmental Bamboo Foundation is not only trying to stop these forests disappearing, but we are trying to restore the degraded lands that were the forests of the past. And we want to create what we call a restoration economy, where people, especially rural farming communities, can actively restore these degraded lands around the world and make a very good economy for themselves, their families, and their communities in the process. Our program, 1,000 Bamboo Villages, allows farmer cooperatives to produce value-added bamboo products at the village level by creating an integrated forest-to-factory production system. Our 1,000 Bamboo Village program is a holistic system where we take degraded land and we reintroduce native species and set aside areas for food crops and cash crops within this larger agroforestry reality. One of the key benefits of our agroforestry system is that we create a knitted hydrology of short, medium, and deep roots to create a sponge that holds water in the soil and helps these forestry systems to thrive. The global bamboo market is currently projected to reach $93 billion by 2025. We aim to restore 2 million hectares of degraded land, generate an industry revenue of $6 to $9 billion per annum, and create more than 1 million jobs in the process. The Bamboo Village program allows farmers to produce two main bamboo products: bamboo strips and bamboo pellets. Strips are the raw material for bamboo planks that can supply woodworking industries of the world. Bamboo pellets are a byproduct of the strip production and are an excellent source of carbon-neutral bioenergy that can generate electricity and provide a safe fuel for cooking. Globally, the main bamboo markets are for the food industry, for the construction industry, for the textile industry, wearing a nice bamboo shirt today, and most interestingly is to take the waste from a lot of these industries and press it into a little pellet that can become a renewable energy of the future. We believe that in order to successfully execute the 1,000 Bamboo Village vision, we have 5 key pathways that we have to activate. Strengthening investment drivers for bamboo, creating the Bamboo Village app, sustainable bamboo certification, activating markets, and the national strategy. The first pathway is what we call strengthening investment drivers for bamboo. And that means to convince farmers and businesses and bankers that bamboo is a very good investment. The second pathway is to create the Bamboo Village app, which means that we want to bring farmers and markets together on one online platform, providing a gateway for all transactions to take place while rating the performance and quality of each of these farmer cooperative suppliers. The third pathway is to create a certification system that ensures that the supply chain and value chain for bamboo are sustainable. And we are working with the Forestry Stewardship Council to make sure that that is true. So buyers can follow the entire chain of custody and know that the bamboo they buy is both sustainable and supportive of local communities. The fourth pathway is to activate markets for bamboo. And what that means is to work with different international and domestic partners to make sure that all the bamboo gets bought. The fifth pathway is to take the first, second, third, and fourth pathway, bring it together, and create a national and international strategy for community-based bamboo industry that really empowers the support and resources needed to make a community-based bamboo industry successful, not only in Indonesia, but around the world. This national strategy is supporting farmers to grow bamboo on these degraded lands, manage these forestry management systems, build a village-based factory, and sell these pellets and strips at a fair price that allows them to understand how much money they are making at the end of the month, at the end of the year, and into the future, so that they can send their kids to school as well as restoring the degraded lands around them. Bamboo really does have something for everybody. The textile industry has a sustainable cotton alternative. The construction industry has a sustainable wood alternative. The energy industry has a new, rapidly renewable energy source. With your investment in the next 5 years, we can create 1,000 bamboo villages around Indonesia that empowers more than 1 million people to enter this restoration economy and restore 2 million hectares of degraded land and create this template here in Indonesia so that we can show it to the world. So please contact us if you are interested to join the movement to restore the degraded lands of the world with the bamboo restoration economy.
Thank you, Arif. It's very, very interesting. How bamboo very useful for us, not just Pak Arif mentioned about bamboo for construction, for uh, industry, for energy, for food, because some food of Indonesian and I know as well several countries use bamboo shoot as a food. And one thing that probably is missing is bamboo shoot for medicinal or what do you call property. When I was young in a small town in East Java, when I got a problem on my stomach, my mom gave bamboo shoots, what do you call, perasannya, yeah, squeeze juice of bamboo shoot to make my stomach stable. Yeah, this again, bamboo is food, bio, energy, construction, and also biomedicine. Let us now invite the speakers, Pak Arif Rabi, come to the stage, Ibu Monica, and then Ibu Lakshmi Dewanti, please. And I like to invite each of the speaker to speak before us around 10 minutes maximum, then we will have a bit ample time to discuss. Please, Pak Arif, you first.
Thank you, Pak Wahyudi. So I'm just going to do a quick overview of what was talked about in the movie of the 1000 Bamboo Village program and how the mechanism works. And then Bu Monica will talk about the national strategy. And then finally we will have Bu Lakshmi discuss how the synergies between the Indonesian government and bamboo can work over the next 5 years. So as Pak Wahyudi says, in Indonesia, everyone seems to have their own story with bamboo. However, the bamboo story in Indonesia and the culture is degrading. And you know, we used to have over 20 million hectares of bamboo in Indonesia, and now it's degraded down to around 1 million hectares. And so there is this opportunity and challenge for us with bamboo to really bring it back as a climate change solution, and also to have it as our national identity. As you can see around you, there's beautiful bamboo photos of how bamboo has been used for more than a few thousand years in Indonesia. Okay, so yeah, so we believe that bamboo is a sustainable timber of the future, and its specific pioneering role to restore degraded lands is one of the key factors that we really push. And our Bamboo Village program, we take 2,000 hectares of land and we plant 70,000 bamboo seedlings with 7 cooperatives, and we restore the 2,000 hectares of land, and we create what we call this village-based bamboo factory. And we produce 21 tons of bamboo strips per day and 20 plus tons of bamboo pellets, those little small compressed things that we saw in the slides in the video before. So our vision is to restore 2 million hectares of degraded land, empower 210,000 households, which is plus or minus 1 million people, and absorb 100 megatons of CO2 for 1,000 bamboo villages. And in terms of income, each household can get $500 plus USD equivalent of income, with only 30% of their time being utilized. And of course, this utilization efficiency has been proven, especially in China, where these bamboo cooperatives have been functioning very efficiently for the last 30 years. So, okay, yeah, so just 210 households empowered. We talk about the carbon side. 1 hectare of bamboo can absorb and sequester, if we do it in the right way, 50 tons of carbon dioxide per hectare per year. And so we get 100,000 tons of carbon dioxide absorbed per village per year. We also have a very good impact in the soils, where we say that bamboo has this shallow root knitted hydrology. And one clump of bamboo can absorb 5,000 liters in just 4 to 5 rain events in the beginning of the rainy season. And it can hold this water for 6 to 9 months. So whether the bamboo likes it or not, it must share the water in the middle of the dry season to the surrounding plants around it. And you get a lot of understory species that once the bamboo has developed, they really begin to thrive as well, because they can kind of suck off the bamboo in the dry season. And we have a lot of local wisdom of how this is done all around Indonesia, and of course around the tropical belts of the world. So 35 million liters of water absorbed in 70,000 clumps per year. In terms of the economic outputs, we get 6,000 tons of bamboo strips produced every single year, and at 2 million rupiah, or 143, that's a very exact number, US dollar per ton. And then from the strips, the pellets, sorry, we have 6,000 plus tons of pellets produced per annum. And so in total, we get $1.2 million of revenue, not profit, but revenue. Profit depends on how well they manage that truck, how far the bamboo is from the roadside, etc. But it's a significant revenue stream for these villages, especially if they're in the rural parts of Indonesia. Another very interesting opportunity is taking these pellets and using it at home for them to cook instead of using LPG and other sources of fuel, because especially in the outer islands of Indonesia, getting these different fuels to households so that they can cook is a big challenge. And so if they can be producing that themselves, we can lower the carbon footprint of these fuels and also have something that promotes the local economy. So very quickly in the movie, we talked about these different processes to set up a bamboo village. We start with community development, and the Bamboo Foundation has developed what we call a farmer field school curriculum and a network over the last 15 years. And then we have a very unique system called a bamboo cocoon nursery, where we grow the bamboo to 5 meters tall in the nursery, and then we literally cut it, kind of decapitate it, and we transplant the rhizomes, and we put that into the field, because a lot of reforestation projects in Indonesia in the past have planted small little bamboos in these degraded lands, and they have not survived because of fire, because of cows, because of pests, because of creepers, because of many factors. So the Environmental Bamboo Foundation has learned that this cocoon nursery system is critical to have the bamboos survive and thrive. The third is we create this preservation center, and we start to change the mindset on bamboo from the old mindset that bamboo is a temporary timber for communities to the new bamboo. And the new bamboo is preserved, and it's durable, and it has all these modern uses that are not really understood yet completely in Indonesia. The fourth is we create what we call our HBL system, or Sustainable Forestry System. And we're working with FSC, Forestry Stewardship Council, to create a certification system purely for bamboo at the community-based level. And finally, the factory. So here's some nice photos. We use the branches of the bamboo to create the propagules, to create the little, the new bamboos. So every time you harvest a bamboo, you get 5 to 10 new bamboos, because it's a monocot, and it's one of the nice little details about bamboo. We preserve the bamboo, usually using a borax solution. The forestry management system, so 19H means that they can harvest that bamboo in 2019 in the rainy season. So we have an exact coding system that tells the people when they can harvest each bamboo. Because basically the way that we explain how bamboo works is the trunk of a tree in bamboo is underground. And what you see above the ground are actually branches. So you can only harvest the great-grandmother branch. You cannot harvest the grandmother, you cannot harvest the mother, you cannot harvest the baby. And with this system, you have a highly productive clump, and then you get this amazing, highly productive bamboo forestry system. If you clear cut bamboo, it will not be productive at all. It will go into stress and in some places die. And then finally, this is the community-based factory. So this is 7 large machines that can produce 21 tons of strips per day and 20 plus tons of pellets per day. So it's a small footprint for a very productive system. So those 5 pathways, I'll just quickly go over them because I know we're running out of time. We talk about finance and strengthening the investment drivers for bamboo and reaching out to the different international organizations and international finance organizations of the world and say that especially in Indonesia and the tropical belt of the world, we have a very easy fix to restore degraded land and get this climate change mitigation solution at the same time that a lot of these communities actually already know about. So it's not that hard for them to take it on. And within a year of training, we can get them established. And then we want to create this Bamboo Village app. So this basically just simplifies the transaction process of selling strips and pellets for the farmers. The third pathway is sustainable bamboo certification, which is essentially we take a photo, we do a geotag as in a GPS tag, and we have a log every single hour for each station or team in the field. And with this, we can guarantee the sustainability of the bamboo, which is also very important because there is unsustainable bamboo out there. Pathway 4, activating markets. We want to work with the Indonesian government and the different ministries to create a domestic marketing consortium and an international marketing consortium. And we are talking to companies like IKEA to help us to host the international marketing consortium. And for Indonesia, we have a very unique opportunity with social housing, where actually the Ministry of Public Works and Public Housing is very excited to build the future public housing of Indonesia with bamboo laminates. And finally, what Monica will talk about in a moment is this national strategy for community-based bamboo industry. Okay, so may we work together to create a community-based bamboo industry, agro-industry, and in Indonesia and the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arif Rabik. I'd like to invite Monica as the second speaker today. The session, she is going to talk about creating a national strategy for community-based bamboo industry. Please, Monica.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank you, the Ministry and the Minister of Environment and Forestry, Pak Wahyudi, Bu Ami, and Arif for inviting me to speak in this forum. I just wanted to first thank you, Arif Rabik, for, I've seen him introduce the 1,000 Bamboo Village since Paris. And I think time has come that all of us must support him in his ideas of 1,000 Bamboo Village. His timeline is not 15 years, it's going to be 5 years. 15 years is too long. This is a climate action oriented. I really wanted to thank him because when the earthquake and liquefaction happened in Central Sulawesi, those people who was affected by the earthquake and liquefaction, I don't know if you're aware of it, in Central Sulawesi, I came to Arif and asked, Arif, could you build a house for this affected people and village made out of bamboo? Because we've been sending tarps and tents. Oh yeah, I can. So he sent his bamboo from Flores, and his craftsman, his tukang, to expert on bamboo building, sent them to Central Sulawesi, to a village. I think they're still there, they never left. They're now teaching the local villagers to help the village to build their own house. And now we have houses built by the local communities, which is resilient to earthquake and resilient to natural disasters. I wanted to thank Ari for that. Second was the school. We didn't have a school building because all the school is rubbles. He came and helped us in building a school made out of bamboo buildings. I wish I had the photos here, but it's a beautiful school where the local government is very proud of, and we use that till today. And it's a sustainable bamboo building. Now I was asked to talk about the national strategy where we can. So with this story, I came to talk to the Indonesian government. We spoke to the head of the National Disaster Agency, and everyone has agreed that we should create a national strategy for bamboo. It is not just the industry that Arif just explained, or the restoration economy. It's also about climate adaptation and climate mitigation. And we talk about it, so several ministers came forward and said, Arif, this is a low-hanging fruit that Indonesian government must support. So in the way that we mentioned this, the roadmap, it is a low-hanging fruit, not just for the Indonesian government, but also the vision and mission of the President Jokowi for the next 5 years, which is promoting village economy, enhancing the export of agroforestry, and third, of course, the restoration economy itself, the environmental aspect of it. So we've been consulting with different ministries. We added not 3 Ps, public-private partnership, but we added people, public-private partnership, because a lot of the people came to us and discussed this, understood and or aware that bamboo is a new source of products or environmental friendly products. We have companies who's making toothbrush out of plastics coming to Arif saying that we want a wood or bamboo, a more sustainable material. The only thing that we need to get together is how can the national strategy, the roadmap, the national roadmap, to concert all the effort of different ministries, different actors, investors, local government, plus the most important is community level, villagers. These community level can be women cooperatives, women's groups, indigenous communities, indigenous alliance, to sit together that this is an important aspect of their life. You can see that this is a sample that he has, the Environmental Bamboo Foundation has done the talk. So this is not created because of the conference, but this is actually a plan that has been implemented in a small scale. So we can see the incubation, we can see how long does it take for the process to have, it's about 7 to 12 years. Now with the national strategy, we're hoping that this is faster. This could take half of the time instead of 7 years. Hopefully this can take 3 to 5 years. So what do we need? We need a support of a stronger database from the local government and also from the Ministry of Environment Forestry, where the location of the degraded land, the location of the watershed management, the location of this community-based forestry, which consists of 1 million hectares, to ensure that everyone gets a piece, to ensure that it is done sustainably. We also have why we need to have a national strategy. We need to have the role of the Ministry of Industry. We need to have the role of Ministry of Trade. We need to have the role of Ministry of Education. We need to have the role of Ministry of Home Affairs. We also need to have a role of the Ministry of Village Development. So everybody has a task and a job to make this successful. The market, talking about the market has no problem. I think this is a demand-driven. This is not just a supply-driven, this is a demand-driven. It is about how fast that IKEA would transform their wood products into bamboo products. I've seen the conversation with the buyers in the market. They said, how fast can you deliver to BMW? Or how fast can you deliver to Lexus factory? Now it's a matter of, for us, how can Indonesia get our acts together to support this movement? This is the first week the minister has reappointed, so we had a conversation about how to accelerate the bamboo movement. And I think she has given a guidance to how we go about it, also including the roadmap or national strategy to be issued by the president. Of course, me being somebody new in the bamboo industry, I had to read what happened in Anji and what happened in Anji, the province of Zhejiang. And I had to read a little bit of all the papers of INBAR and also the papers of FAO. What are the risks of these sustainable bamboo industries? Whether they're invasive, how about monoculture? So we need to look at that and how we proceed with moving forward. This is where the first plan of 1,000 bamboo villages. I have to say to Arif that this has moved forward. Many governor and head of districts and bupatis has came to the Environmental Bamboo Foundation, is in fact thinking that we have to do this, not because of the bamboo business, but it is for the people's resilience towards climate change, whether it's adaptation or mitigation, but also it's about the restoration economy. I think by moving forward, the Indonesia, as what Arif said, this is a huge contribution for humanity. Bamboo is for humanity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bu Monica. And I'd like to invite, the last but not least, Ibu Laxmi Dewanti. She is on behalf of the government, so please talk us what is the position of the government of Indonesia dealing with the bamboo.
Thank you, Pak Wahyudi, moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to all. First of all, thank you for having me, and I also would like to take this opportunity to thank and appreciate Pak Arif Rabik and the Bamboo Foundations, as well as Ibu Monica with Kemitraan for the initiatives. Indeed, it is a timely initiative. As we speak now in this COP25, it is time for action. So it is time for action, it is time to mobilize resources it is a time to build a stronger partnership, and it is time to make the talk walk. And well, to be honest, I'm not the bamboo expert at all. But as a government representative, I think the government have nothing to say except to support all the initiative done by the stakeholders. And we have seen from the video that how bamboo, it's, it's close to Indonesians' heart. Bamboo is part of the ecology of the Indonesia, and in this line, I would like just to emphasize what the relationship or how Indonesian government visions and how the bamboo initiative will fit to that vision and mission. I hope it will be fit. Of course it is. Um, yeah, in his annual State of Nation address this year, President Joko Widodo highlighted his visions to develop the nation's human capitals, because he believed that that human capital is an element to ensure that the Indonesia will be better and better in the futures. And acknowledging that the Indonesia currently face impact from disruption of the global economy as well as fierce international competitions, President Jokowi urged people to embrace science and technology in ensuring the successful of transformations, because we are talking about transformations here in infrastructure development as well as in economic growth. So, how we will do the transformations? So there are 4 pillars, or I should call it 3+1 pillars, because 3 pillars are belong to the sustainable development. So the first pillars is the environment. So forests, more resilience to climate change. And indeed, Indonesia, as one of the biggest forest country, will rely on its forests. So we have no option rather than only through the agenda of forest conservation and ensure that the forest will be stay there to be able to cope with the climate change negative impact. Second pillar is economic. So again, I'm just taking the opportunity as the Indonesia as the forest country. We would like to optimize the forest resources, not only by selling the timber itself, but many other products of the forest, the non-timber forest product. And bamboo is included on that. The third pillar is social. Mr. Arif mentioned about the fair share trade, that kind of things. And it's very much aligned and in line with the government's visions that we would like to have fair sharing of forest benefit, including bamboo, of course, and function that it is sustainable. And the +1 pillars, because we only have 3 pillars in our sustainable development. So this is the 4th pillar, is the governance pillar. The governance pillar is to ensure that all activities, all actions under the economic, social, and environmental pillars will be done correctly, will be transparent, will be inclusive, and more governance and innovative. Because, as I mentioned, Indonesia would like to build its competitions, resources. So, as already mentioned somewhere in the videos as well as in Mr. Pa Arif presentation, Indonesia is very important, bamboo is very important for Indonesia. So Indonesia hosts 160 species of bamboo, which is 12% of the world species, including 76 commercial species. So, well, by having said that, it's just clearly show that bamboo, it's indeed have very much potential if it comes to the economic pillars. And it's also mentioned and added by the moderator that Indonesia has a rich bamboo culture as a medicine, as a cuisine, as a traditional music, as the what you call it, the textile. So therefore, we have to nourish the bamboo culture in order to conserve the bamboo resource area. So 1,000 bamboo village initiative will indeed to spread out the sense of love and, and nourish the bamboo culture that will not only consume the bamboo, but we need to conserve the bamboo itself. So I'm not expert on figures, although I'm following the climate finance agenda in this COP. But I just want to share this table that it is indeed potential from the economic point of view. We may export the bamboo, but much more than this, we need to ensure that the bamboo is there to be exported and to be used domestically. And 1,000 bamboo village will ensure that the bamboo will be there and the figure and the graphic of the figure will be keep increasing from time to time while we could fulfill the domestic needs of the bamboo. Of course, there is some challengings, and Ibu Monica has mentioned in terms of support needed, right? But we also see that there is a challenges in developing the bamboo initiative in Indonesia. We have a policy, certainly there is a need of policy support, but here I'm just would like to emphasize that it is very much in line and aligned with Indonesian government vision and mission, especially, and also with the national planning development documents. Of course, we need to still develop the bamboo, and in the future, we need to develop toward a very large-scale forest area, because nowadays we only have maybe a small scale spread out here and there in Indonesia, but we need to have a massive and large scale of forest area. So hopefully we can, after building or establish the 1,000 bamboo village, we need to connect the bamboo village, because Indonesia is very large. So 1,000 bamboo may be it's small. Not even every island have a bamboo village in Indonesia, because we have much more than 1,000 island in Indonesia. So, but we need to really connect the dots from one village to another village. We need to set the corridors, and government will be there by supporting the policy, the data exchange, because Indonesia have a strategy on the one data policy. We also need to institutionalize financing, for example, financial access. Yesterday here in this pavilion, I explained about the framework of the environmental financing scheme in Indonesia. So hope those who were not here maybe could get the material from the pavilion website later. The human resources, yes, education, socialize, and raising awareness, it's indeed important. Investment and technology, I mentioned in the first place that President Jokowi envisioned that scientific and technology it's very an element for the next Indonesian's development agenda. Well, I should not explain it, because you already learned from the video that bamboo indeed have a very potential for ecosystem restorations. And not only the ecosystem restorations, Pak Arif mentioned the economic restoration. And maybe we can add social restorations. Why not? Because we need to have one instrument or one initiative to be able to help us to support all the SDGs, all the sustainable development goals. So not only one or two goals, but perhaps or hopefully all the 17 goals of the SDGs. Yeah, I think this is my last slide. I just want to emphasize that how does the 1,000 Bamboo Village program support and contribute to the government effort in achieving its vision and missions? it's already mentioned, by the way. It's giving more, jobs opportunity. I hope it is a decent jobs, because it's not only jobs that government would like to provide for its people, it's a decent jobs. So we need to ensure that it will be a decent jobs related with the bamboo initiatives. And we also will be able to create the village-based factory. And at the end of the day, we need to link and to connect the village-based factory with the larger scale of factories, so then the custody chains will be there, and we can build up and link the global to the local, because, well, in environmental, we said think globally, act locally. So I think now it's a time when we do the act at local, but in the same time, we will ensure that the global will also benefit for our action. So that's all for me. So I thank you for having me, and hope it will enrich our understanding on how Indonesia government would like to proceed. And again, thank you for the initiative, and we hope that we can hand in hand in making the talk work. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Ibu Ami. She already gave us a kind of overview of the government policies and also dealing with bamboo as well. So she also mentioned about the idea of bamboo also actually in line with President Joko Widodo, President of Indonesia, visions dealing with human capital, human resources, and so on. So as you know, 1 or 2 days ago, President Jokowi already received from the street. Hello? It's okay? Yeah. The Straits Times of Singapore gave Jokowi as the man of here. ASEAN year 2019 is Indonesia president. Ladies and gentlemen, before I think we still have around 15 minutes to discuss. So I'd like to invite you, the audience, to give a kind of comment, questions to the speaker. So please raise your hand and identify your name, your organization, and your country. Please. Any? Yes, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Richard from Uganda, and I like to thank the presenters for these very important presentations. However, I have one question. You've mentioned that you have a lot of species there in Indonesia. I just wanted to know whether all of them are edible or some of them are not edible, because in our country, we have one species which is edible by one region of the country, and then the other species in another region is not edible. And this one which is edible, when we tell the people, because it is in the national park, so when we tell people to plant it outside the national park, they claim that when it grows outside the national park, it's not edible. So I just wanted to know whether you have any comment on that. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'd like to give Pari to answer.
Sorry, just before I answer, this is an amazing thing that changed my mind about bamboo quite a long time ago. This is a decking plank made out of bamboo. If you don't mind, just pass it around. So, thank you. That has the density of ironwood, but it grows in 4 years. And as you know, ironwood takes between 200 to 500 years to grow, and so with technology we can create an ironwood that grows in 4 years. Regarding the other very large sector for bamboo, edible shoots, it's actually all bamboo shoots are edible. But once the bamboo comes into contact with the sunlight, the natural cyanide type compounds start to gather. So usually you have to boil the shoots to take this out. But there's some very interesting tricks and silvicultural tricks to stop the bamboo getting the light from a deep mulch system. The Japanese are the masters, and you get an amazing sweet shoot from it that has a great price. I hope
Okay,
that answers
great.
it.
So any bamboo shoot can be eaten.
Yes, as long as you time it right
Yeah.
and don't let it get access to sun.
Thank you. And the lady, please. Tolong.
Hello.
Oh, Dan, sorry.
Yes. Very interesting presentation. I was wondering.
Please introduce yourself.
Oh, hi. My name is Maria Paula. I'm from Colombia.
Oh.
So I was wondering, have you thought maybe bringing this project to another country? I know it's really new, but I don't know. Is it possible to do it in another country? And is it possible to have similar plantations in countries that maybe have similar weather? Or, I don't know. Can we do that in Colombia too? It looks really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Any answer? I think it's Pak Arif and then probably Bu Monica. Yeah, another one, the last one.
Yes, thank you. Great question. Absolutely. Our vision is actually to spend the next few years to really create this national strategy and these different foundations from those pathways to really strengthen the approach in Indonesia and then take that experience and bring that to 9 other countries. So that's definitely part of the plan. And we're looking at South America and which countries to partner with. Mexico has been a big standout, but let's talk more. Absolutely. Monica, would you like to add?
Yeah, Bu Monica.
Thank you. Any chance of for us to look at community-based forestry? This is not a corporate can do the work. It is people. It's about people to people. I think bamboo and that's the mandate. That's the precondition. There should be a community-based activity. Should be a community-based organizer. It should be community-owned. Anything that is a village-based approach, I think we can take a look at that. Just to also not to go into the pathways of monoculture.
Yeah. Okay. And please, Danielle.
Thanks. My name is Dan Zarin. I'm with the Climate and Land Use Alliance. I'm based in the U.S. I'm really enjoyed and appreciate these presentations, in particular the linkage between this initiative and the government's priorities. And topic, I'd be really interested to know to what extent is the Indonesian government itself already investing in this initiative, and how and to what extent is this initiative already being integrated or contemplated to be integrated within existing government assistance programs to Indonesian villages? Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. I think it's Bu Ami now. It's your turn.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for the questions. Yes, indeed. Bamboo it has been part of the forest conservation strategy, and in relation with these initiatives, back in 2016, the vice president at the time, the vice president of Indonesia, initiate or launching a national bamboo planting program, and by planting 10 hectares of bamboo in South Sulawesi province. So, and another information that on our national development documents for 2015-2019, which is the current medium-term planning development, it stated clearly that the government have a target of 5.5 million hectares forest and land rehabilitation plan, which is including bamboo on it. And in the we are now preparing the next midterm planning development agenda, and certainly the forest land restorations and planting program will be continuing, and we will set a more ambitious target. And of course, again, bamboo will be part of the species or the type of plant that we will plant during the next 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ami. One more question, probably. No one? Do you want to add for me? No? Okay. Then, because time, just 1 more minute. If you have more answer, please.
Yeah, maybe just to add to what Bu Laxmi was saying, I think in the forestry management units of Indonesia, where the Environmental Bamboo Foundation has been invited to speak over the last 5 years several times, many of these heads of the forestry management units, or Kepala KPH as we call them, are already creating small little nurseries, but they have some technical problems. And so that's a lot of what we're talking about in creating this national strategy is a lot about a huge fund of money that is available to the forestry management units who currently have issues where the bamboo seedlings are 35 times the price than another type of seedling, for example, for sengon or albizia. So these kind of constraints is because people are not talking to each other and there's not the linkages needed to really make bamboo be able to scale for these different forestry management units. And you know, I can't remember the exact number, but it's more than 100 million hectares of forestry management units around Indonesia. So it's a huge potential if we can just link up a lot of the policy. For example, on the 9th of July, 2019, Peraturan Dirjen, Director General regulation, allowed for bamboo to be planted and coppiced, meaning you don't harvest it, but you just prune the great-grandmothers with a very specific license per year if you do the coding system. And that has opened up 63 million hectares of bamboo to be planted and harvested. Before the 9th of July this year, you could plant the bamboo. If you harvest it, you go to jail for 5 years. So there's some regulatory and some technical challenges so that a lot of these entities around Indonesia can really activate bamboo as a solution for them. Thank you.
Yeah, please. Good morning.
I wanted to add what Dan raised a question about how far the government have invested. I think we also have to look at the jurisdiction of the local government. Many governors and head of districts have the interest, for example, in Sigi in Central Sulawesi. He said, I'm declaring my district to be the district of bamboo. And he has, declared, committed, pledged 200 hectares of land for the agrarian reform objects of land for bamboo. Many governor of NTB, Nusa Tenggara Barat, also committed to this part of the movement. Bupati of Sedang Bedagai, for example, in North Sumatra, he said. So this is doesn't have to be, top-down initiative, central government initiative, but it can also be welcome and initiated by local government because they want to find solutions. And this is a climate solution. This is a real climate action. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bu Monica. Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out. Short, Pak, please. Ini belakang.
Thank you very much. My name is Siu. I am one of the participants from Indonesia, especially from Central Kalimantan. I'm very interested about the bamboo, yes, but I don't know yet. Is any action already this bamboo foundation in my hometown, especially in Central Kalimantan? I want to know. Thank you very much.
Do you have any idea? Please, Arif.
Yes, so actually we already have a unit in Central Kalimantan, and we are working with PT RMU around their restoration, ecological restoration concession. and we have a small task force there that is going to all the forestry management units to discuss the opportunity of bamboo. So I'd love to introduce you to Pak Yuyun, our head of the unit there in Central Kalimantan, and of course our friends at PT RMU, because we've created already several different community forest pembibitan nurseries. And yeah, so there's a nice start in Central Kalimantan actually.
Yeah. Thank you for your informations. Ladies and gentlemen, time is ran out, so I'd like to close the sessions, but before that, I have some notes to be used as the takeaway messages from the sessions. The first message is we have already answered some part of our questions. Why bamboo
Barusan kita ngomongin bambunya Bunda. Enggak. Yes, please. You are always doing the presentation before the shop, before the. Okay, so you must keep only this one. Only this one. Yeah, not the yellow. This is for the audience. The yellow and the blue one are for the audience.
So this is count for anyone Accept me? Yeah. I will only use this one.
Yeah, this one, and we have another like this one
Panel.
yeah
For
people
speakers.
for speakers on the
I
stage.
see, I
So if you need another microphone, you just have to ask us.
Okay, then.